American Anglo shareholders are going to end up owning about 2/3 of the company roughly, and Teck shareholders going to end up owning 1/3 of the company. But it's going to be headquartered in Canada. The board is going to be 50-50, and the management's going to be 50-50. So even though it's kind of, nil premium merger equals, kind of, the governance issues kind of point to a merger equals, and that's really probably structured in order to get approval by the Investment Act, Canada Investment Act, and also the Kevel family that owns. Teck has two classes of shareholders, Class A and Class B. Class A is super voting rights. He owns a majority of those shares, so he has to approve this deal. In the past, when Glencore tried to buy them about 2 years ago, he kind of vetoed the deal, so the deal didn't go through. So there's kind of a unique structure to this deal to kind of, fit it through final approval.
Makes sense.
Okay, so there was also language in the statement of this so-called merger of equals that would allow both firms to consider unsolicited proposals and for the deal to end if there's a better offer. Does that mean they're angling for some counteroffer from someone else?
Well, I think it would be a hard press. I doubt, in order to get it through the Canadian Investment Act, which copper is now being considered a critical mineral. Canada has said they don't want to see any of their mining companies go away. So would somebody come in who can pay that much, be willing, or a BHP or Rio Tinto, be willing to move their headquarters from where they're at to Canada? I highly doubt it. But I think you have to put that language in the deal that, hey, we're open to.
So it's like boilerplate language more than anything
boilerplate, and
else.
also prevent that you don't get sued by shareholders that you haven't gone out and looked at for all deals.
Right. Do you think that this deal, though, between Anglo American and Teck is going to be the thing that sort of ignites more M&A in this industry? I
think, there used to be an old saying, I used to cover the oil and gas industry years ago before I more focused on metals and mining. There used to be an old saying, it's cheaper to drill on Wall Street than drill out there in the field. And that seems to be happening if you look at how much it costs to, get a new copper deposit up and running, also how many years with permitting and all the other things that happens, you can see that maybe you sit down and look at this and say, okay, it may be cheaper to mine on Wall Street than go out and make a mine.
Okay, before this deal was announced, we've seen that both companies have tried to simplify their businesses. Teck sold the majority of its coal business to Glencore. Anglo American exited the platinum business and is trying to sell its coal mines and wants to get rid of its De Beers diamond unit. Is that going to continue that effort, and will it be harder or easier to do that as part of this giant company?
Well, they're both going to, Anglo is going to continue to try to sell coal business and sell De Beers. They think they're going to get it done before the deal closes. The deal's supposed to close 12 to 18 months, they said. Those are, and Teck was, 2-3 years ago, there was a big push for green companies. Coal is viewed as very dirty and things like that. So
not anymore.
Right. We've seen companies try to get out of that business to kind of appease shareholders, especially over in Europe. It's a bigger push much than in the U.S. So I still see those actions continuing.
It's being billed as a merger of equals, but I'm wondering if one party here is getting a better deal than the other. Because if you look at Anglo American, if this happens for them, they're going to get that high quality copper asset, right, which is really coveted in the industry. Would you agree that Anglo American sort of has a better end of the bargain here?
Well, the question is, Teck has had problems bringing a new mine on Cuba Brada online. And the question is somebody, one of the investors I was talking this morning goes, well, yes, if QB gets fixed and everything runs, it looks like a great deal for Anglo, but are you buying a fixer-upper or not? And Teck, honestly, they've been very good operators in the coal business. They've kind of exited the coal business. They haven't been as good operators in the copper business. So to bring in some expertise, Anglo has a little more expertise in the copper business, it may help them, realize the value there.
Richard, you mentioned that Canada needs to approve this deal. I believe the regulators in China and the U.S. need to as well. Which countries are going to be hardest to get approval from?
Well, I think it all depends. You know, a year ago I would have said Canada, but given that China probably considers copper a critical mineral now, and giving how the geopolitics that are going on in the world, it may be there's going to be everybody taking a kind of a very measured look at this deal before it gets approved.